Welcome back to Racing with Jesse Rosinski. Happy Monday if such things exist. Hopefully you got hopefully if you're listening to this, I mean at least hopefully you're a fan of Rex because there was a lot of them this weekend. So hopefully, that made you happy. Anyone with a brain, I don't think was happy. I know Walter wasn't happy and everyone wish him love and all that. He needs some time away, new baby and all that. He's finally listening, taking time off. So give him some love in the comment section because uh we were waiting on that thing to go back green. That was terrible. And the wreck happening in the first place. But I got into that yesterday. I'll briefly get into what they could do to resolve it. Later on, find the short I put up yesterday, sitting at 78 views. So I know if you will, and if you do, that it actually makes sense and it really wouldn't cost NASCAR a dime. So I just stop hearing them say, I don't know what we can do to actually alleviate this problem. It's actually really easy if you use your brain, if you have one. Not sure most of them have a brain. That's the problem. The F1 race was just a slaughter. That happened over the weekend. There was some good racing. An American flat track, the Sacramento Mile, that did happen. That was, actually some of the better racing I've seen from AFT this season. I mean, there were guys up there all the time. There might have been breakaways, but it wasn't just one person out by a year, which was, really nice to see. Even if people couldn't make passes, like to finish it, they were right there, which is very exciting. Unlike again the F1 race. No offense to them, it wasn't good. And there was good racing everywhere, except for where it mattered. So yeah, lots to go over. AMSOIL Racing Championship Off Road, Bark River International Raceway in Bark River, Michigan, finally aired. And get good racing. Pro 2, Thomas won, but he had a tire going flat the last couple laps, and you could tell he had some spots where it was hard to hold on to the thing. But again, really good racing. Even with that, the poor guy named Winner finished second, Mittag finished third, and then Pro 4, Kyle Duke dominated again. That should surprise no one at this point. CJ Greaves was second, and then his brother finished third. American flat track, like I said, the Sacramento Mile, and they showed a lot of the races. Actually, we got see the production twins, Parts Unlimited, and the Super Twins. And normally on TV, we just get to see the highlights and two of them. This time they aired three races. I don't understand how it's an 8-minute race plus 2 laps, and they had to have a commercial and actually cut 2 minutes away from it. But I'm just happy we got to see them. I just don't understand how the TV network can't give them 8 minutes plus 2 laps. That just seemed dumb. But great racing, production twins. Jesse Janish on pole. Jesse Janish and Mikey Rush were in their own zip code. I mean, like 10 seconds out there, but Jesse Janish got the win. Rush was second, Smith third, Texture fourth, Parts Unlimited, Kitchen on pole. And this one had a lot of stuff going on. Cody Kopp got the lead by turn 1. Like when they Gautier took the lead by turn 3 on the outside. And then Kopp finished, I think, like 5th. Gautier wasn't even in the top 3. I think he finished 4th. Like it was racing all over the place. Bruner was first, Whale was second by only 1,000th of a second, which is always good racing. I don't care. Like you don't like people racing and being that close. You don't like racing. And but Kitchen got third. Super Twins, rookie Dallas Daniels on pole, ended up getting the win over Jared Mees, who he sure tried a million ways to figure out how to get around him. And he just couldn't figure it out after winning 4 of the last 5. I think it was 2 or 3 straight, Sacramento Mile. So the rookie getting the win in the mile. Briar Bowman was third. I said, though, great racing, like in all of them. No matter what, first, second, like top 3 were there in the one. Top 3 were right there in another. Like it wasn't just one guy driving away, which we have seen, which we did see in some of the semis that they showed highlights of earlier in the day and other races they did, for a prize. Like those races, even in American flat track, aren't the most exciting thing in the world, even though American flat track is really exciting racing. It's just sometimes, just one guy in a straight line going around. It's just, who likes that? It's no one's cup of tea. I'm not picking on anyone when I say that, but this was really good. And that was one of the highlights of the weekend, actually, because it was good racing. There wasn't full-fledged stupidity across the whole thing. And people were actually racing. And again, if you watch the F1 race, you understand. If you watched NASCAR races, I don't even know what to call them still. I don't know. They were clusters. I'll give them that much, but anything else, I'll get myself in trouble on YouTube. It was bad. Just like again, F1 Belgian GP first race after their summer break, and Max was on pole but started 14th due to a grid penalty. No one started where they qualified. One of the first times ever in F1, if not the first time ever, because there were so many grid penalties. Uh Lewis, Hamilton, and Alonso on lap one. My take: Lewis came way down into Fernando Alonso. Don't care who you are. Don't care what you were watching. He came down like Fernando couldn't. Like Alonso could not move over anymore. He was all the way down, as far down on the curb as he could go. Lewis came way down into him. I don't know what the hell. I mean, there's the right there. If you didn't get to see it, you see Ferrari, Red Bull, Alonso, and that's Lewis in the air there. If you're watching the video, there he is. He came way down into him, and he got that, and he was done very shortly after that impact there. I just don't get it. I really don't. That was just another. He's made so many of those dumb moves. This is the first time it cost him like dearly. This is his first race he didn't finish all year, and he was on actually a roll there for the last 5, 6 races. It's just that was dumb. And anyone that tries to defend Lewis, I mean, that was he came way down into him, and sadly, in my opinion, he got what he deserved. But it's weird. I don't. I just. And Alonso said, well, apparently he's only used to starting first and winning races that way because he can't actually pass anyone. And I mean, we've seen him do that a few times this year. It's very unlike him after all the championships and everything he's won winning. You don't expect it, but that was just another dumb move. A very dumb move that didn't need to happen. That sucked, but really, actually, what are we going to do about it? Nothing. So, no point complaining over it. But the race was, I mean, Mick Schumacher looked bad. The race was just bad. Like, it wasn't good. Max was out in his own zip code by like 10 plus seconds, like way out there. Sergio Perez was second. And he had that by a few seconds. Carlos Sainz was third. George Russell fourth. Charles Leclerc fifth. He moved to sixth after that penalty with like 2 to go, where they stopped for tires to try to steal the fastest lap for a point. Didn't work. He ended up falling back to sixth because of a speeding penalty. So didn't get the point, and he lost his spot. So it actually cost him more, but like they were in their own area. Like he was gone. Max was gone. That's how the rest of the season's going to go. I know the fans over there will keep going to it and cramming in it and loving it, but if the guy's going to be out there winning by 17 seconds every race, it's not really like that's not good. Like when it's not even a competition, that's not exciting. Like he could have started last, half a lap behind, and the safety car, right away would have helped that. But he literally could have started last, and he was already into the top 3 on lap like 8, including the safety car laps when he couldn't pass anyone. Like that's not normal. That should never happen. And if he has that big of an advantage, no one's going to figure it out in 8 weeks. I hope they do. That sucked, but really, what else is there to say about any of it? Like that was bad. That was hard to watch. Good racing behind that, people trying to race each other. But I mean, like first is out by a year, second has a giant gap. They're like no one actually had to race for anything. They just got strung out. And that's not good for the sport. It's not good for racing. It's not good for the fans. Anyone could turn on a TV and watch people take circles. Just drive around in their own area code. Like that's not racing. So hopefully they figure it out and they fix it. I think they can. If they work, they could do it. I just didn't. I wasn't a fan of it. I was very excited for them to come back. Like I was sharing stuff all the time. I was stoked, and then it just didn't deliver. Just like the Xfinity Series race. I mean, I'm glad they got it going, but ending it at 1:30 in the morning Eastern time, that was rough. That was rude. AJ was on pole, Noah Gragson second after qualifying. It was rained out, and it was just a bad night, followed up by another bad night the next day. Next night, it just kept going. Actually, later that day, got rained out, moved it to the next day, and then I had my whole feeling on that, and I will get to it. But shout out to Riley Herbst for holding on to that thing while he was at full speed in the pack and not wrecking and holding it, because that, that shows some good hands there to hold on to that. John Hunter driving the car, commemorating the 13 loss in Afghanistan, was nice to see that. Yeah, NASCAR, Dave, guys in the pits mentioned those 13 on the anniversary more than I saw on the news. I was waiting for people to post on it. Like, that's all I'm going to say about it. It's sad when NASCAR is doing a better job to remember them than any of the people that caused it or any of that. Like, that's just sad to me. Again, I know people that were actually like trained those Marines that got blown, like that knew them and they were once theirs. And, to see how they felt after that happened, just imagine what the family members felt. And a year on, not even really mentioning them, had to suck. But then we get into the suck of the whole entire thing. Lots of wrecks. Glad Sheldon Creed was okay after that one, because you saw him hitting the passenger door so hard that his roof actually buckled. So glad he walked away from that one, because that was a hell of a hit. Like, that was one hell of a hit that he walked away from on that one. But so much bad luck involved, like so much, so much stupidity in this one. First wreck to cause overtime. We had the 7 of Algar, 08 of David Starr. I have it on my phone, so I can't screw it up. The 10 of Landon Castle, 11 of Daniel Heinrich, 19 of Brandon Jones, 23 of Anthony Alfredo, 27 of Jeb Burton, 44 of Sage Karam, 78 of Matt Mills, and the 98 of Riley Herbst. All go around, cause OT1. Then, sadly, you guys might even be able to read that on the screen there. We get another one on the restart. This time the 08 of Blaine Perkins, the 4 of Bailey Curry, 5 of Josh Williams, 14 of Justin Haley, 31 of Myatt Snyder, 36 of Andy LeBay, 38 and 39 of Kyle and Ryan Sieg, 45 of Cesar Baccarella, 48 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 54 of Ty Gibbs, 68 of Brandon Brown, the 98 of Riley Herbst. All involved in that one. And we saw AJ run out of gas. Austin Hill had his old electrical issues there right on that last restart. But I will say, at least Jeremy Clements was out front and makes the playoffs after they threw the caution, which is funny because they were wrecking and he kept going. But that was well before they got to the line. They waited until after he passed it to throw the caution to end it. So you could tell they're, oh, well, we need to end this now. Sure, the powers that be at some networks were like, no, really, end this now. A lot of stupid, but hey, Clemens won again. I'm okay with that. I like Jeremy Clemens. I think it's good to have one of the smaller teams make the playoffs. It's good for the sport to see. Yeah, the smaller teams do good, regardless of where it is. They're making the playoffs is a good thing for the sport. No matter how they got into it, that's a good thing. Anyone that's against it apparently is against the sport, because that was a really good thing that they needed. Then the cup race, again, qualifying rained out. Larson and Elliott on pole. So much stupid. So much stupid. And so many bad excuses for the stupid that was happening. So I'll give them their credit before I get into all of that. That was the wreck with 5 to go in stage 1 with Blaney, Bell, Harvick, Truex, Keselowski, and the 11 went around and all that. They did get it cleaned up to have the 1 lap shootout there to end the stage. So we saw a real winner instead of copping out and just going straight, into stage 2 without ending it, because we've seen them do it before. So that was cool. A lot of dumb things though. That one was caused by Denny bump drafting people in the turn, which got Eric Jones all sorts of squirrely and sideways. He saved it, but it caused stupid. I don't know why they're bumping people in the turns. I've never raced a car. No big old plate track. I can even tell you're not supposed to bump draft in the turns. That's a big no-no. And we heard a lot of people yelling about it, which is just, they kept saying the best drivers in the world. Well, why do they keep have to be reminded that bump drafting in the turns is bad? Because they're already running light. It means they'll go around very easily. Yet everyone kept doing it. Really dumb. That one didn't need to happen. But whatever, Logano won stage 1. Kyle Busch won stage 2. Good to see him win a stage. Like, the momentum thing, I don't know. What is just something positive, I guess, is the big thing to see him do that. And I did like him telling everyone that he had news, and that is that he didn't have any news. Like, I have an announcement. I don't have anything to announce. That was a nice touch. Yeah, hopefully that means no one asked anything, about it. I'm sure that did, but that'd have been a good way just to say, don't ask me anything about it. And then there are people starting rumors that he was signing with colleague and it was going to be announced yesterday. And just, I don't get paid enough to deal with that level of stupid. Like, we'll find out when we find out. But good to see Kyle win stage two. And then, well, it just started. McDowell spun from second, the 24, the 19, the 1, the 7, and the 17. I thought the argument in the booth was dumb as hell. They were literally talking about how people needed to stay out and take a chance because the rain was coming. So they could possibly be out front, and NASCAR calls it and they get the win, saying that people needed to do that and they needed to take that chance. And at the same time, Jeff was arguing with people, and they were arguing about Truex running up front and racing with the leaders and all that, not falling back. Like, well, if you're saying that these people need to take these chances and stay out in case the rain comes, so they could try to get a win to get into the playoffs. At the same time, it can't be dumb that Truex is up there trying to get the win in case they end it so he could get into the playoffs. Like, that was actually like kindergarten level childish right there. These guys need to take this chance to be up there in case they throw it so they can make the playoffs. But the guy that needs a win to make the playoffs, possibly, win, and it was much easier for him. Shouldn't be up there. He should be in the back. Like I said, no logic, no intelligence behind that, but there wasn't a lot of intelligence going anywhere. But there was another big wreck. The 3, the 14, the 21, 23, 38, 41, 47, and 48. It sucked because Ricky was running good. Harrison Burton was right up there all day. I normally talk, we all know how much I love to talk about Harrison Burton. He was actually running right up there all day. So kudos to him. If anyone gets this out to him, somehow finds a way for him to find it, he actually was killing it all day until his day got ended by a bunch of dumb. And again, shout out to Ricky Stenhouse too, because everyone always calls him Recky. I've been known to do it. It's amazing to see him in the Xfinity race and the Cup race. Wrecked, but he didn't cause either of them. So good for him. And Bubba was up there running good too, but we know what Bubba can do on the plate tracks. Bubba can plate race just like Bubba. Normally, I mean, the results weren't good at Coda, but he ran better than that in both the Xfinity and the Cup. Like, he can run those races. I will give him that. And he was up there, Todd Gillen. Like, there's a lot of guys that normally you don't see up there. And no offense to Bubba, he's not consistent yet. We all know it. But that he was up there, the Harrison Burton's, like Ty Dillon was up around the top 15 or so, for a good little bit there. So good on them for having those runs. LaJoy was up there until Stupid. Stupid was really, really stupid. The rain and the wreck and trying to save the money. So we took out half the field because we're dumb. I will get to it. I did a short yesterday again. Listen to that. It's the full synopsis, but I'll go on to the other side of it here in a little bit. Got a crazy lady walking in the door looking at me. She's losing her mind and hearing ghosts knocking on doors now. That's reassuring. Anyway, don't worry, been there, done that. Well, there's literally no one in the house to knock, so. Anyway, they shouldn't have brought it back to green after all of that. It was like a bad ARCA race where there's like 4 cars together and then there were some stragglers in the back. And the only reason anyone got near each other is because people did stupid stuff and almost took each other out. Like, it was giant and worthless. And they should have got and just left it there. Hannah walked in the door when she got back from getting her mom from work, saw Austin Cindric's face, and was like, he looks pissed. Because I'd be pissed too if someone took a car going over 190 and again hit me in the turn at Daytona to get me out of the way, especially when he had his teammate Reddick planted up his ass, who was not going to have let anything happen for him to not. You think he could have drove around him with that run with Reddick and got around him because Reddick would have went with him and he would have been on his own down there. Didn't have to almost wreck him because think if he wrecked and got hurt, and then Austin would look like an even bigger dick. And I love how he's talking about faith and all that getting you somewhere. That was just brute force and ignorance on that one. And I'm not complaining about the move. I totally respect the move. I get the move. I still remember Newman. I'm telling him at what Phoenix, you need one more point when they still ended at Homestead. Damn it. When he went into that turn, I think into the back of, what was it, Kyle Larson? Maybe Juan Pablo, one of those two, though, and boom. Like, see you later. Bye. He got his 1 point. I'm fully okay with it. It's just not in that. He could have done it in the straightaway and it would have been, he wouldn't have almost lost it. And again, all the wrecks we had, chance of something bad happening at Daytona going sideways. I just didn't like it, especially again with his teammate behind him. I know I get why he did it. I respect why he did it. Do what you got to do to get it, but you know, run the guy over in the turn when you could very easily just go around him. Didn't like it. Thought it was unnecessarily risky and stupid. But they could have laid back. He could have got another good run with his teammate behind him and wouldn't have had to do any of that or just went around the outside and no one would be saying anything. That's why I didn't like it though, because that was just dumb. Something dumb could have happened real easy and real fast. I'm just tired of seeing people get hurt because of unnecessary stupid. Like it's just bad, in my opinion. But Austin Dillon got the win. Good on him. He made it in the playoffs again. Did what he had to do. He had Reddick behind him. Cindric was third. Castle fourth. Noah fifth. Cody Ware sixth. BJ McLeod seventh. David Reagan was ninth. Bubba 11th. Ty Gibbs 13th. Harrison Burton was 19th. And Ivan Road after much better run than that, running much way better until all the stupid happened. He could have had a really, really good day. He was up there, but look at all the names we got to see up front: Landon Castle, Noah Gregson, Cody Ware, BJ McLeod, David Reagan, all getting top tens. It was just really bad. They brought it back with like 3 cars that could even keep up with the guys up there because the cars were all beat to hell. It was just dumb. But closing it all out, I really hope that isn't a precursor for the boys over at F1, because if that is, there's no point in watching any of it. I have a big thing for NASCAR. Big, like, it's easy. Like, listen to the short from yesterday, find it on YouTube. It's a good one. It's to the point. It's simple. Like, it's real simple, and you'll understand it. Things they could do to alleviate this problem from happening again. But if they knew rain was in the area, they kept talking about it. They kept saying they didn't even think they were going to get it in. Why'd you wait until 10? Like, you could see the radar when it's going to come. Like, why start it at 10? You could have started like, what, 0.1 to go. So you could have started at literally 9 o'clock. And quite possibly at that timing wouldn't have had that problem at all, because you would have been done already. It's just one of those things. Like, why do they always do that? Like, you tell the fans to be there 7, 8, 9, they'll be there. If you know it's coming, like, why always wait? Like, just get it on there, so get it in. That's way, or they just do it so much, so it bugs the hell out of me. Yeah, they could do that, but again, find the short, because my solution to all this could stop it very easily, way easily, 90+% of the tracks. Like, it doesn't even take a brain. Like, it's that easy. They have the property. They can put people in certain places and let you know if something's coming, so they can call it right before it starts raining on the track, so we don't see half the field wreck out all at once and everyone just starts going like this because no one has any grip. That thing. I mean, everyone just, the Red Sea's parted. That doesn't need to happen. And also, the sanctioning body for what they did to Brandon Brown. Yeah, now there's, they're already a small team. We all know that. Them winning it. Talladega was awesome. Look at everything. I don't care what happened after that. NBC started it. They said leave it alone. Still, she said, "Yeah, let's go, Brandon." Yeah, that you can clearly hear they weren't. And now we have to occasionally see him. Like, I was wondering, thought I was losing my mind when he was in someone else's equipment. I believe it was last weekend, because we all remember at the beginning of the season, he had "Let's Go Brandon" coin to fully fund them, and NASCAR denied it because they said they didn't want to get political. You cross that line, and Bubba was walking around and, I can't breathe in BLM shirts, and had BLM on his car during 2020, because that was quite politicized and very political, and you let him do it. Like, if he could do it, You can't pick and choose who's going to be able to do it and who can't. And now Bubba got all these big sponsors out of the deal, and he couldn't get that coin, and it might be over. Like he's driving other people's equipment for in some races, like because they can't fully fund it. I'm sorry, get over yourselves. Put it on there. This like Natalie Decker suddenly couldn't race because it was so last minute, and even though the products that were gonna sponsor a car get tested, NASCAR, they have their own protocols and testing facilities and want to do it themselves, and they couldn't get it done. Well, if it's already tested by the FDA and all that, like labs and all that, like you're taking opportunities away from drivers and sponsors to be in the sport and racing, which is dumb. How about we find a better way to do this and stop being so picky, choosy, and political yourselves and idiots? Guys, you're hurting yourselves. Who am I to care about NASCAR killing themselves? But it's just bad. So, especially the rain. Like you heard them. You heard Haley's spotter and you saw it. Like Jeff Burton really does need his eyes checked during the rain thing, though, to close it out. Like you could see Haley on the front straightaway and poof, mirror. Oh, sorry, onboard camera completely covered in water and all that. It was raining on him on the spotters, and you saw that you had time to at least slow them down so they weren't going mock everything into that turn and hitting that rain and just losing all grip and wrecking that many cars. You had time. Don't say you didn't. 10 seconds is more than enough time because they see the light and they slow down. They're actually really good at it. Find the short from yesterday. It's a foolproof plan that they could literally do everywhere without really. I mean, they'd spend a few dimes, but not that many. But I'm gonna leave it at that. I'll be on the lookout for another short I'm gonna do on there's a lot of things. People getting contract extensions, the Kurt Busch thing, the concussion, which I totally respect him. And the doctor's not telling him not to go. There's I mean, you're still lingering from concussion effects when I've had enough. And I know there's times, let's just say there were times I had gotten a severe one and I shouldn't have gone on the road or been a gunner, but overseas, different situations. I want him to get better and back to at least end it on his own terms. So take all the time he needs because for my last one, I'm still feeling after effects, and this is years later. But I'm going to do one about that. And also, I'm going to be on talking about all the contract extension. So there's going to be a short episode, not like a YouTube short, like a Racing with Jesse Brzezinski short. So I can get over all that, 5 to 8 minutes, call it a day, because there's a lot of news coming out about contracts and all of that. So be on the lookout. Don't forget to like, share, comment, repeat. Send love to Walter in the comments or anywhere. He's trying to figure some stuff out. He loves you all, and he was pretty pissed this weekend. But I'll be back soon, so be on the lookout, and peace.